Hello, welcome to Top of the Month February. I am Peter, the host of this show, this grand show, that which I am now starting my 7th season doing. And every year I have eaten something spicy. Used to be just peppers, but then last year I did the one chip challenge. It was fantastic. I'm going to do it again in a similar fashion. I have the new one for 2022 right here. It turns your tongue blue, so my tongue's gonna be blue. It's gonna look like an avatar from James Cameron. We don't need to talk about that. Anyways, so now with this, I am now in my 7th year of doing Top of the Month, and I'm excited to be making more videos, which I plan to do more. In similar fashion to what I did last year, I intend to eat the chip. Then I'm going to read a thing I wrote, and then I am going to find things to talk about for the next hour. I might get up to walk around at the 30-minute mark because that's where pain starts. And the gut pain. But then I'm going to, when I finish, got chocolate milk and I got a donut as well, and I'm going to have those things after the hour after this timer, which this time I have an actual timer and not just looking at time codes, which I did make an hour last time. I have proof of it. But I'm going to start that timer after I swallow. Okay. To verify, the seal has not been broken. You see, you got the stickers, stickies still on it. And now, you know what? I'm going to do this again. So you did school. Come on. There we go. The edited version, you're not going to see the mishaps. And oh geez, these are harder to cut than I thought. It's going to be a nice little display of cutting. At least it shows that the seal had not been broken before, right? See how smooth it just kind of slides open with a sticker. Okay, here we go. We have the chip in the pouch, completely unopened. Ah, I dropped the chip. Yeah. Okay, here we go. What to expect. Tongue takeover, shock the senses, surge of tears, jolt to the gut. I do remember jolt to the gut. And voltage overload. I don't know what voltage overload means, but that sounds pretty cool. We open here. Again, we have 1 minute, powerless. If you can't do 1 minute, you're weak. 10 minutes, you're powerful. Awesome. 30 minutes is supercharged. Very cool. And 1 hour is invincible. And I proved I was invincible last year, and I intend to do that again. And I will show the other side at the end. It says, haha. Anyways, got like other Paqui chips advertised on this too. Ooh, coupon, cool. Anyways, so our goal is to go the hour because I am already proven I'm invincible, and I'm once again going to prove this. Now, I don't want to take forever to get to actually eating the chip, so here we go. Come on, phone, don't go to sleep on me. No, it added an hour. It's still an hour. There we go. Take it. See this? Open. It didn't open right. There we go. Let's go to the other side. There we go. I'm regretting my life's choices upon smelling this thing. Serve in all of its glory. Should I get out my good camera and take a good picture? I don't think so. We're just gonna just go straight for it. Our start, it's going. Timer's going. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Hello. Ooh. That is horribly unpleasant. I shouldn't have worn this jacket. They like blew on me or something. Horribly unpleasant. Okay. Now we're going to read. This is something I wrote called The Paladin The paladin cursed with life. I am at loss. I try to stand, but I fall. I try to talk, but I babble. I try to cry, but I stare. I am at loss. My sword that I wield is heavy. The weight of the damned rests upon it. Worthless souls they may be, but souls I spared not. Worthless fight, souls lost, guilty, dead, innocent, still gone. Each day is the same. The sun rises over the bloody land. Smoke rises to the heavens, another worthless fight. Crying children, laughing men, beaten women. Innocent, still gone. Worthless men cackle at loss. My blade shines brighter in the daylight. The cacklers fall down. A worthless fight. Souls lost, guilty, dead, innocent, still gone. Curse this life, curse this blade, curse this lamb, to damn with it all, to damn with me. And yet my life ends not. The spear stings, the arrow pierces, the hammer bruises, the poison burns. Yet the curse of life continues. Whew. That is it. The paladin is a character I've been trying to develop, whose basic premise is he serves a god known as Lumen, who is a greater god, and he at one point, of serving the god and seeing all of the blood he has shed, and yet it seems to have made no difference, decides to take his own life. Now, the god Lumen is upset and angry by this, and basically brings him back, and then curses him to never know peace. To never die, never know peace. And to forever be caught up in war for his entire eternity. And that he would never, and so he lives thousands and thousands of years. And there's a whole story, not a whole story, I just have kind of like where the end of his story is, where it's headed in its direction. But I still need to develop it, because you have the end, but now you need in the beginning, and then you need the actual story that gets you from point A to point B. And that's gonna take a lot of time to do. And I am struggling here. I don't know if you could see. I'm trying to keep a stone pin. The blue is fading as possible. My nose is running. I'm tearing up. I have a hair. I know it's on this side, right there. I want to rub my eyes, but it's got powder on them. I don't want to leave camera to get white, because then proof of me not doing that is gone. But I will maintain this. I will make it. I've already gotten it past the initial burn. But I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh. I would like to point out, this soda is particularly good. The Dr. Pepper Strawberry and Cream. It's new. It's wonderful. And I want to tell everyone about it. I want to tell the entire world that this soda exists. It's amazing. I mean, like, literally, Dr. Pepper should hire me. I loved it so much, I had to make a TikTok about it in the parking lot. And I had to put it on my dating profile. Like, literally, I put a picture of this on my dating profile, because I just loved it that much. I literally did that. I did all those things. I'm not telling a joke. It is a joke, because I treat my life like a joke. I run my life based on bits. I do things that I think are funny and amuse me. And I will continue to do that. And also, so when I retell a story, people are like, wow, that's a good joke. It's like, no, that's what I literally did. Like, I literally did that. I literally did it because I thought that was funny. because it is funny. Ooh. We have passed the 5-minute mark now. Well, a little bit a while ago. And again, according to this, this is like the shock of senses, surge of tears. Yeah. It's got me versus the chip. I'm going to beat this thing. I guarantee you it. About 30-minute mark, there might be a point where I feel like I'm going to throw up. I don't know if I'm actually going to, but that part, I'm probably going to get up and start walking around. Might not talk as much, but I'm going to try to stay in front of the camera talking as much as I can. I should have brought I'll probably bring over my trash can so I can spit in there. Because last time I was getting a lot of saliva buildup and I would just spit, spit. You never know. But anyways, yeah, I can't recommend this I can't recommend this Dr. Pepper enough. It is a wonderful drink. I totally think is delicious. It's the best thing ever. I don't know if anyone's actually ever going to watch the actual hour-long version. I mean, I would watch it. I think it's pretty cool, but... Motorcycle. Gotta love it. I don't want to laugh too much because I feel like that might encourage throw-ups. I just don't know. I just don't know. Yeah. I got a lot of time, so I don't want to use all the things I wanted to talk about. I'm going to use as much as I can, though. You know, I'm gonna vent a little bit. I'm a fast food vent here. Fast food worker here. I work at Subway. Some of you might already know that. I don't know. Maybe, but most people who watch my videos probably already know that. I think it's actually kind of obvious. Anyways, and one of the things that gets me is how lazy people are. You know, sometimes people will rearrange the tables so they make like their super tables, and then you have like a whole family sitting at like together, so the family would sit together. No, I get the reasoning, and I have no issue with people doing that. Oh geez, that might be annoying. The microphone setting was on the wrong one. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna sound in the end. It's gonna be irritating. Anyways, I'm gonna. Anyways, so and they make these super tables, and the people will all sit or the family will sit on, and then when they're done, you know, they don't put the tables back. I don't understand the logic that they think it's fine just not to put the tables back. You're being a nuisance. When you move something that's not yours, you put it back where you found it. That's just a driving principle of it all. And it irritates me when they do that. And because then I have to go out there, I have to reset up the table. And these families are always the families that leave a big old mess. A big old mess. And then you have to then you have to wipe off their tables, and you have to sweep below the floor, and they've just got things and crumbs and papers everywhere. And I'm just left like thinking, how could you do this? I am not even capable of leaving a mess like that. If I have that big of a mess at my table, you better believe I'm wiping off the crumbs. I'm throwing out my trash. Every bit of it I am throwing out. You better believe I'm doing that. Not because I'm a better person, but because I am a better person. I think that makes me a better person than they are in that respect. But so many people just don't seem to care. And to me as a fast food worker, that irritates me. And they would say, well, it's your job to clean up. We passed the 10-minute mark, by the way. And I would be like, no, it's not my job. It is my job. But There's a trash can in the lobby for a reason. There's a trash can in the lobby for a reason. Put your trash in said trash can. If the trash can is just pouring over, go to the employee and say, "Hey, that trash can needs to be changed." That's an example of going to an employee and complaining about something legitimate. Some reason that you would go to an employee over and say, "Hey, the trash can's overfilling. Could you change it?" And for me, I would be like, "Oh crap, I did not notice. I'll get that changed right away." Or I'll send out my coworker to get it changed right away. One way or the other. It goes to show you. But it's just one of those things that it just doesn't track with me. It doesn't track with me why people would be so much of not to care. They care so little that they just won't clean up after themselves. They are adults. And I know kids are messy, but at the very least, get the trash on your table and don't just throw trash on the floor, because sometimes there's like so much paper on the floor. It's like, there's no way some of this stuff wasn't just like carelessly just tossed down there. There's no way it wasn't. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And also, my nose, it doesn't look good, so I'm gonna just get a paper towel real fast to wipe it. Hold on. No, just an ordinary paper towel. We get a tissue. Man, I should have had a tissue by my desk, ready to go. There we go. My nose is cleared out. I probably should have grabbed the trash can while I was over there, just in case I needed it to like spit, which I probably will in about 20 minutes, I guess. Probably gonna run. I don't know when I'm gonna start running out of things to say, but it's eventually gonna happen. Anyways, so passing the 10-minute mark, I guess that means I am powerful. I'm powerful. 30 minutes is supercharged. You know what? I guarantee I'm doing this. This is why one reason I didn't think it was worth the first time I did this actually filming the full hour, because I was like, I reached a point and I'm like, I'm just gonna make it. There's just no way I don't. But then you also still need the proof and all of that. And here I am now, well, I did film the full hour the first time as well, because I just kept talking and I'm like, oh, you know, I can do this, because I'm not really sure what exactly I'm supposed to do in front of the camera for an hour. And to that, I'm just gonna kind of figure it out as I go. More customer service, I guess. Well, okay, I'll tell this story. I might have told this story before on the channel. I forget what stories I've told before. Doesn't matter. This story, a customer comes in, I serve them, and all of that. It's perfectly normal. And this customer specifically, it told me, "You got pretty eyes," and I was like, "Thank you." I mean, it was kind of a shocking compliment, and I was like, "Damn, yeah, I do." It's like a compliment I think about every now and then. It makes me smile, makes me happy. So you see, sometimes you get customers that you just love them. You just love some customers are great, the greatest thing ever. And I just, and to some degree, they kind of make dealing with all the rude customers worth it. Those like nice customers, and then you also have those regulars that have an acknowledgement of you, and they treat you kindly. You treat them kindly, and you have a positive interaction with them every time they come in. And those are the customers you just love. And to some degree, part of you, the idea of not serving them anymore, kind of has a bit of bitterness to it, because some of them you like you like interacting with them. You've had a positive experience with that customer, and those are good. But there are other regulars that are just kind of annoying, and every time you see them come in, you're like, and it's not always because they're rude or in technically any action behavior you can describe doesn't seem like they're doing anything wrong, and they're not. It's just they're just there, and they just have a somehow they just have an effect that makes you feel upset. And every time they come in, you're just like, not every time. Sometimes it's fine, but then there's other times when usually they are when you're having a bad day. They're not one of the customers you want to see. And you're just like, ugh. Sometimes the customers you like are even that way when you're having a bad day. And you're just like, oh man. There's these regulars we have. They order the same sandwiches every single time. I've got their order memorized. Well, at least one of them, he orders the two sandwiches exact same way every single time. And then the other one usually orders the same thing, but his changes up every now and then. And I like serving them. They're great customers. I love them. Best guys ever. But sometimes when there's a rough moment and things are getting a bit chaotic and I see them come in, I'm like, because I immediately know it's going to be 3 footlongs. And it's like, I've got other things to do. There's dishes that need to be washed. I need to prep ham and turkey, and I need to pull bread out of the freezer. When it just becomes like, they're just become a nuisance. But when serving them, I serve them with the same amount of respect and care that I always serve them. Because my problems are my own, and I save those internal struggles to keep in the back of my brain. Just like how you serve customers. Sometimes when I serve customers, I'll be like, stupid. I don't want to serve this guy. They're stupid idiots. Like, this is what's going on internally. And usually when I'm like going down to pull out the deli paper and I go down and I'm not making eye contact anymore, I go, and then when I pop up, it's like, hey, what can I get for you? What can I get for you? Let me tell you, there could be a customer, there could be an employee, a customer service employee that seems the most delighted to ever serve you. But what's going on in their brain is probably not something you want to hear. Probably something you don't want to hear. There's also the distracted, experienced employee, the one who's completely zones out while serving you. But they serve you accurately and perfectly. That's me sometimes. Sometimes I zone out while serving customers, but I will get it. I will serve them perfectly. They'll have no complaints. They'll have no issues. Everything went fine with the service, but I don't remember it. I'm not sure what sandwich I just made. I'm not sure the face of the customer. I didn't make any attempt to even recognize make any note of who the customer was. I just served them, and then I just said, hey, welcome to Subway, and so thank you and have a good day. Those are about the only 2 points I remember. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, not literally. It's more like a zone in, zone out, zone in, zone out, zone in, zone out, zone in, zone out. Like, hey, what can I get for you? Oh, the Italian bread, foot long or 6-inch. Okay. Foot long turkey with American cheese. Okay. Are you gonna want it toasted? Uh-huh. You got it. Any lettuce, spinach, all the veggies? Okay, you got it. Mayo mustard? Good. That'll be 11:53. Foot long turkey, 11:53. Card? just make a selection on the screen. All right. Thank you and have a good day. Those endpoints are the only parts I can remember. My phone went to sleep. I want to see the timer. Let me see the timer. Okay, we're at 38 minutes down. Puts us we're about 20 minutes in. 20 minutes in. 22 minutes in. And I'm doing great, actually. I'm doing quite better than I thought. Subway customer service is back to customer service. I have an odd fun. I don't like hate it. I don't love it. It's like I don't prefer it, but it's not the worst thing in the world to do. Serving customers is actually kind of fun sometimes, and in those times I kind of like. Anyways, well, shall we talk about something else now? How about the film industry? There's a lot to talk about the film industry. I'm a film student after all. We go and we talk about stuff. One of my classes wants me to regularly bring in a story of what's going on in the film industry from like the trade magazines. That'd be like for film industry, that's like Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline as well. I think there's another one that he also mentioned, or another two. I forget what they are. These are the news. These are basically the news magazines, the news sources that specifically cover entertainment industry. And so they're the ones, in my opinion, they're the ones with the most up-to-date information about what's going on. Most of the other news sites kind of use their stories for their stories. So it's kind of most of the news from the entertainment industry, even if you're getting it from the other news sources, are actually getting it from them, is where they're actually getting the news. Most of them aren't actually creating original stories. Some of them are. I'm not saying none of them are, but most of them get that from there. It's very interesting. One story I read recently was how Warner Brothers Discovery, like HBO Max and all that, they're going to be licensing some of their content to a Warner Brothers branded channel called Fast, which is going to be featured on like Tubi and Roku. Some of their content, and one of the things they're going to show is a Westworld is one of the things that's going to be on there, which is a pretty popular Warner Brothers Discovery HBO Max show. So it's kind of interesting that they're going to be doing that, because it just feels like that's some of the content that is actually people on their platform are wanting to watch, and yet they're going to be licensing it to third-party outlets. Honestly, right now, HBO Max or Warner Brothers Discovery, they're still kind of in a mess, and they're trying to find a way to make money, because right now HBO Max is not making money, and to that extension, most streaming services aren't making money. All of them are currently now needing to pay the piper. Because before, when streaming services was new, the idea was we're going to get a whole bunch of subscribers. We're just going to grow this really big platform with a whole bunch of subscribers. And just think, when we have all these subscribers, think of how much money we can make. And the investors like, yeah. But now, like 10 years later, it's kind of like, where's the money? And that's where investors are right now with these streaming platforms. Where is the money? We're not seeing the money. Where is it? Because, fun fact, most streaming services at this point, the only exception is Netflix, are currently reported in the red. They are losing money. Most streaming platforms are losing money right now. That's why they're increasing subscription costs. And that's why they're doing stuff like ad tiers and all of that. Netflix does ad tier plus lower video quality. Like, you can only get like 720 on their lowest subscription plan. Which, that again, is to point out that there are people willing to watch commercials for a cheaper price. They would be willing to do that. But the thing is, they want to make sure everyone who can afford that more expensive one, have more motive, will pay for it, because it's like you're only getting 720, and they're like, if I want to watch good quality television, I'm just gonna have to pay for it, And they want to make a system that makes it that they also still have, because the lower tier suddenly becomes a plan of people who can't afford a more expensive plan. There's still a plan for them to be able to afford, and they will still be able to be subscribed to Netflix and keep up all the television, which I think is interesting, which is kind of what Netflix's main strategy is. HBO Max's strategy right now, or Warner Brothers Discovery, is to fix their debt problem. Is to find money. And I'm guessing, I'm not an expert, so I don't know where they're going, but this is their main strategy. What they're trying to do is just trying to fix is money. Money's the biggest driving force to all the decisions they've made that have infuriated so many people. It's all about money, because they are a business. They want money. It's not that hard to figure out. So what in the end they're gonna do, I don't really know yet. I don't know precisely what they're doing, but they're definitely going to be creating a new streaming service that's not HBO Max Discovery Plus. But other than that, right now, they're not. But other than that, they're going to probably eventually come up with something, and I think they will be fine long term, and they will get themselves out of this hole. On top of that, Warner Brothers Discovery with James Gunn and Safran. Is his name Safran? Somebody. Anyways, they're new heads of the DCU. They've launched their new plan to for the DCU universe, DCU cinematic universe, or DCU extended universe. Anyways, they've launched their new plan. The thing that I'm most curious about is the fact that they are allowing the independent projects. They're having the independent projects which will be completely separate from the main universe, and they're going to continue to allow those. I have one question. At what point do they have too many side projects to where it just becomes so filled of everyone's just like, this isn't part of the main timeline. This is what is it? And I think there's a risk of confusing people if you have too many projects going on, if you have too many Batmans. I mean, you think about with the Spider-Mans, but you weren't having the Spider-Mans run simultaneously. You weren't. They were separate. They ended and started. Some people are wanting, we want a third Amazing Spider-Man for more Andrew Garfield. I don't know if Sony will ever do that. I personally don't think it would be a smart move to do it, because they got their Tom Holland Spider-Man in the MCU. Who knows what the future holds, though, because decisions will be made contracts will expire, pure business decisions will happen. Pure business decisions, because a lot of these things are pure business decisions. The one reason why we've never gotten a pure Hulk movie in the MCU, some people say we have. We do technically have the one with Edward Norton, but not with Mark Ruffalo, because that was all back when Marvel was with Paramount. Now they're with Disney, and there are certain rights that Paramount still has. They could use the character, but they can't make a Hulk movie. That is the reason why we haven't got a pure Hulk movie. And honestly, I think that's the reason why the storytelling of Hulk is still lacking. Like, we lose so much development of that character that we literally aren't able to get a good storyline with him solely because of the limitations of contracts. Solely because of the limitations of contracts. And that's just kind of sad. But that happens a lot in the movie business. Decisions and things that happen purely because of contractual agreements or business decisions. Money impacts stories. Things that you thought were like epic creative decisions when sometimes it was quite literally, it was just the money we had at the time. Anyways, so I have passed the 30-minute mark. I am now supercharged. That's pretty exciting. So now this supercharged individual will continue to talk about movies. The business side of it. As much as I can. Much of my current understanding is of what's going on right now. On that extension, my personal prediction, probably other people have this prediction too, but looking at the current film industry, last year was like COVID was literally very destructive to the film business. You're talking about they went off 2019, one of their highest grossing years, at like $40-some billion in the global box office. $40 billion for the film industry in 2019. And then they dropped to like 19 billion the next year. And they have yet to recover. I mean, they are recovering. Their numbers are showing they're like now in like the 29 billion. 20, I think they're like the upper 20 billions. I'm not sure. You'll have to check me on that. You could type in global film box office. I can look that up right now, actually. Global film box office. Yeah, for the estimated total for the year of 2022 is 25.9 billion. That's better. No, wait, I think actually, if I remember correctly, 2020, it was 12. Never mind. 2020, the year of the pandemic, it was 12 billion. From 42 billion to 12 billion. That is a lot. That is very big drop. And now we're at this year, 2022, they made 25 billion, according to Variety. Variety is where I'm getting the 25 number. 25.9 billion precisely. That's huge gains. If you want to reference, if you go to 2021 is 21.4 billion. So now we're up 4 billion from 2021. Remember, 2021 still had a lot of lockdown stuff going on. 2022 was the first year where we didn't really have a lot of lockdowns going on. A lot of it was still mostly open back up. The Chinese market was still pretty closed up, though. Some markets were still pretty closed up, and there's still a lot of people who are sketched out about going to the theaters. But you also had a lot of industries that released their blockbuster films on streaming, and a lot of the films that were greenlight for the 2022 year were greenlight during 2019. So like a lot of the films that we were seeing in 2022 were greenlit under a time of a pandemic. So they were uncertain about box office results. So they were a little hesitant to allow blockbuster films that were going to make lots and lots of money, because they were uncertain about how things are. Now, with this year, with the box office up by 4 billion to 25.9 billion, I'm pretty sure they now are going to have a lot more confidence in the box office. And then you had films also like Top Gun Maverick make over $1 billion.
So without the Chinese market, which is kind of a big deal because that's like oftentimes studios are like, that's what makes us money. But then we don't need the Chinese market really so much anymore. That they still want it. And then you had Black Panther, which made several hundred million, 900 million. You had Avatar, which is from last year to this year, but it's the last year movie, and they're it's made over 2 billion now. One of the highest grossing films of all time. Um, and because of that, there's now every reason to have confidence in the box office. And so with that, there's every reason for studios to now start putting out more blockbuster films. And when that happens, we're slowly going to see a recovery of that theatrical market. And with that means we're going to see money being made. And so the box office is going to recover. Theaters will recover. And I believe right now things look bad. Right now it's buying season. There's a chance we will see more mergers. We've seen mergers, but there's probably going to be seeing a few more in the next year or two, maybe. I'm not an expert in this, so don't take my predictions with a grain of salt, but I personally think there will definitely be another major buyout before all of this is over. Another major buyout. What is it going to be? I don't know, but it's probably going to happen. But I guarantee you the industry will recover and be perfectly fine. They're America's second largest export, so it's going to recover. It's going to recover. We make movies and missiles. That's what America makes, movies and missiles. Anyways, so this year in 2023, I think you're going to see the box office continue to recover on an upward trajectory from last year. Because you're also just having more people more confident to go out. But we're going to see successful movies. We're going to see more movies. I'm excited for the Marvel lineup. Ant-Man, Quantumania. I'm going to enjoy that movie. I'm fairly confident. Most of the Ant-Mans have been, I would say, good and enjoyable to watch. So I'm probably going to enjoy it. I'm excited for a lot of the Disney Plus stuff coming out. I can't really think of any of the specific names. I'm a Bad Batch. I'm planning on Star Wars Bad Batch. I'm planning on catching up on that at some point. Right now I'm going through Star Wars Clone Wars. Star Wars The Clone Wars, the animated series. It's fairly good. Some of the character designs, particularly Padme is kind of but she looks like they ripped off the head off of a bobblehead and stuck her on an action figure, like the small ones. It's just, anyways, it's not very good, but the story I think is pretty good. I'm gonna talk more Star Wars in another video because I now have a growing opinion of it and I want to talk about it. The biggest thing we have is we will see recovery. You will see recovery at the box office, and there's a lot of really exciting stuff coming. The future of streaming is going to be interesting, though. I think we have to pay attention to where that's going, because the current model clearly isn't making them a lot of money, and they're a business. They want to make money, so we will have to wait and see what they do exactly. Prime is a curiosity to me, though, because Amazon makes Prime Video is irrelevant to most Prime memberships, because most people have Prime because of 2-day shipping and other various perks as well. But Prime Video is more of just like an extra thing that exists for most Prime subscribers. So that one I find that's a unique one. That's a unique streaming service. I want to see where they go. And then you have the free ones out there like Tubi and Roku. Those ones are kind of interesting. They got cool stuff. Roku's with their Weird Al biopic. Biopic. That was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. If you're wanting an update to how I'm doing, by the way, I felt a little bit in the chest, a little bit of the stomach. I'm a bit disappointed. Okay, I should have pushed on my stomach. I expected more, but I didn't get more. Sometimes I wonder how people can do like hour-long shows, and I guess I kind of know now. Because I'm just like sitting here talking, my back hurts, and I'm like, I should probably get up. A lot of people I think take like breaks in hour-long shows though, but yeah. I didn't finish my thought on streaming services because I went on a rant about Amazon Prime and I didn't really know where to end it. It's interesting to see where things are gonna go. But the biggest thing you got to watch out for is there's going to be some movies that are going to be very good this year, I think. Do fairly well. I got to keep a better look on what the full slate of movies are going to be, but I got to watch more movies this year. That's got to be my goal. I'm a film student. I need to watch more movies. Just period. Just movies in general. Just watch what's out there. Watch what's new and keep updated about it, because that's the current trajectory of the film industry. And you just watch. And then I also look at I look at box office numbers in reviews. That's one of my main things I do to keep track of what's going on, because I want to see how people are reacting to the movie and how much money the movie is making, because that's tells you film success. And then you see what the critics are saying about it, you see what the audience is saying about it, and then like a good example is a Black Adam. Critics, they can that movie. They trash that movie. Fans seem to generally love it. Most of them though acknowledge the faults. Like the faults are there. Like this is me. By the way, this is me analyzing a film that I haven't actually watched. The fans seem to love it. The critics hated it. They declared it kind of a mess. And I'm going to say this. The reason you don't have more regular viewers that didn't like it, because I'm going to say this. I think the people who didn't go to see it were the people who thought they weren't going to like it. Like they already decided they probably weren't going to like that movie. Based on trailers, based on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, based on reviews, based on all those things. They just took one look at it and just said, I mean, that was kind of me. I was unenthusiastic. Part of me kind of wanted to see it because I wanted to see the mess in action, but I never actually went to see it. So I never got to experience that mess. But for me, I looked at the trailers and I just kind of thought it was a little on the cringe side based purely on the trailers. And so, superheroes don't kill people. And he's like, I'm not a superhero. The problem. 10 years. That movie was in development for like 10 years. Like, The Rock was really pushing for this movie for 10 freaking years. So that may have been an interesting concept 10 years ago, but today we've seen so many superheroes clearly kill people. So it's not like such a shocking thing, It's more like, yeah, heroes have to do what heroes have to do sometimes. It's just kind of It's just kind of life. It's just kind of life. But I've also, this is something I also heard from other people. This is me. This is not necessarily my opinion specifically, but I kind of agreed with it when I heard it. Basically, people seem to state a sort of fatigue about how much they heard about this movie. Like, this movie was promoted specifically by The Rock so much, so often, so over the place, and it seemed to be everywhere for a period of time, and it just kind of seemed like people got sick of it before it even came out. And there were people who are just like literally, I've heard someone say that they're excited to not have to hear about the movie anymore. Not have to hear about The Rock talk about it anymore. So I'm guessing there were people who were sick of the movie before it even came out. And I think over marketing and over exposure was also one part of the downfall. Another big major thing to consider about Black Adam is simply the fact that who knows who Black Adam is? So few people know who Black Adam is. Like nobody. So that character in itself doesn't have much of a draw. So the fact that it's a superhero movie has an audience that will come to it just because it's a superhero movie. And then there's an audience that'll come to it because it's a DC superhero movie. So you got those audience groups. And then you have the fan base of Dwayne The Rock that will come to this movie because it's a superhero movie, because it's a Dwayne The Rock movie. But I don't think those things alone justify their $200 million budget. Well, 190 million, but pretty much 200 million. And I also read an article that seemed to state it's likely their budget went higher because of various, I think, reshoots, or actually went higher. I forget the article. It's out there. Black Adam budget. Ah, here it is. I don't want to read it from that source. I strongly recommend you always make sure you're getting make sure you're always going to sources that are reliable. My phone went to sleep. Um when you're and reliability is going to change based on so basically their marketing budget. Well, my thought I was trying to finish. Based on which topic or which area of information you're getting at. Okay. Basically, marketing was probably about 100 million. That makes the budget of the film about 250 million. Warner Brothers said it was 80 million, but either way, you're talking close to 300 million total. Um, Okay, forget the previous statement and just focus on what I got from the article. Is basically the so you have close to $300 million in budget plus marketing, close to 300 million, somewhere between maybe like 250 mil 200 they're $80 million, which put them at about 270 to about 390 million in budget. The film made about 340 million. You say, oh, that means they made money, but some of that money goes to the box office, and because some of that money goes to the box office, um, the theaters, about probably about close to 50%, they're really only going to be seeing about maybe 150 to 200 million of that money. So that's a loss, not a major loss, but a loss. It's pretty much a bomb. It's a financial failure. And I also say another reason I want to say this film is a failure. This film sat with no competition for like 3 weeks. So it was number one at the box office for 3 weeks, and it could only gather, couldn't even gather 400 million. In comparison, you look at other films that had similar budgets that were successful, they're usually, even the ones that don't do as well, are usually ranking in at least more than 400 million. And then you have the ones that are raking in, and usually they're raking in like 600 million or 800 million or within that range. Like films like The Batman and various other Marvel projects, films that have similar budgets are pulling in a lot more money than that. My chest is starting to feel weird because of the spice. It's hitting me a little later than I thought. That's fine though. That's fine. We're good. But because of that, because of all those factors to consider, all those hundreds of millions of dollars, that they're going to lose money. They lost money on this. On this. They're claiming, I think they claim like some of the residuals and the various streamings and the various other things. They're, in the end, I don't think the studio's actually going to lose money. But on the theatrical, they didn't make money. They didn't make their money back from the theatrical. And that, in my definition, personal definition, is a bomb. If you don't make your money back in the theatrical, it's a bomb. And that is my opinion. That is where I stand on something like that. You have to make your money back or else your movie has failed. And their movie failed. Catastrophically. I just, to me, it just finds funny how much pumping up The Rock did to this movie, and just, in the end, no one cared to see it. And that goes back to my point. The Rock is the most noticeable name in that movie. Usually a superhero name, the most recognizable name is the superhero. But in this case, it was The Rock. And The Rock did not have the star power to make that movie a success. He does not have blockbuster pull purely on his name alone. He wants to have it, but he doesn't. Because I do not see that from him. And plus, I'm just going to say this. The Black Adam is a departure from his character. The character people love from Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is the goofy, funny guy. He's the funny guy. People know him as being funny, charming, a delight. Like, I know him as Maui from Moana. And that Rock is enjoyable. But the serious Black Adam, I'm not sure people really wanted to see that. It's finally hitting the gut. I was hoping it would hit the gut sooner, by the way. And I'm talking about the chip. I got 5 minutes to go. Maybe I'm moving around more. I don't know. but we're good. What I'm going to do though is I am going to, at the 3 minute mark, I am going to get my treat ready. But we will have to admit already, I am not powerless. I am not powerless. I am powerful. I am supercharged, and in 4 minutes I will be invincible. As I had already proved in previous times, I am. So we shall see, won't we? Um, I'm always amazed when I'm able to consistently talk for an hour. Um, I don't think I can. Like, recording and filming myself regularly enough has gotten to the point where I'm fairly good at keeping talking when I need to know I need to. If I don't have a time for how long I need to talk, I feel like I naturally go to about like 10, somewhere between 10 and 15, maybe shorter, because sometimes I have like a solid direction to where I'm going to talk and I say, because if I know what I'm going to say, I say what I'm going to say it, and end. And that usually takes about less than 10 minutes. But when I don't know what I'm talking about and I just kind of naturally jabber on for a little bit, I end up with maybe about 10, between 10 and 15 or 20. But I have mostly been consistently talking for an hour. It's quite nice, actually. This is actually probably the most I've talked about the film industry in any of my videos. I'm a film student. I should do that more. I should start a series solely devoted to the business side of the film industry, because that kind of interests me. That's how the sauce of made gets made. And sometimes I don't think people know how many creative decisions were directly influenced by a business decision. And the original creative idea was completely something different, but because of money, finances, some other reason, they had to completely change course. Anyways, I'm gonna get up and get my stuff ready. I got my Arizona Arts Cup. I bumped the mic. Apologies. This is a donut I got from Quick Trip. Quick Trip have amazing donuts, in case you didn't know. You should go to Quick Trip for like everything. They're better at like almost everything. As you see, the chocolate milk has been opened. There's the snap. Okay, so how much time do I got left? 1 minute. And counting. Last time I got hit with the got stuff like like a half hour in. This time I'm getting hit like at the final. Uh, uh. 1 hour, 15 seconds. I should have chose a sound, but I did it. I crushed it. Get the mic out of the way a second. Thumbnail. I have 2 of those now. Well, I better stop the recording pretty soon. These I love because they have a lot of cream in them. I did it. And that concludes the video. If you watched the hour version, congratulations. If you're just watching the edited version, that's fine. Matt, I thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more, you go over to the videos and check out some other stuff I've made. You can leave a little comment if you want. You can also hit that subscribe button if you want to keep updated with future videos. And with that, I thank you for watching, and please excuse me while I fade away gradually until coming to an end.